to another episode of Astral Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Man, I love this job, man. I love working on cars. Alright, to the point at hand. 99 Ford Expedition. Here's the complaint. Customer was driving along, getting ready to go to work. All of a sudden, he started losing power. The radio went out, the dash gauges stopped working, and he barely made it home. So what we're gonna do is diagnose the see what's going on. I believe it's the alternator. So if you think it's your alternator, this is a good video so you can see how to diagnose your alternator, how to check it out. Alright, let's get to it. First thing we're gonna do here is got the hood propped up. You want to need you a multimeter or some way to check voltage, and then I'm gonna start it up. We're gonna check it out. All right, we'll be right back. All right, get you a multimeter. It ain't gotta be no expensive one. As long as you can check voltage. This is a Micronta from Radio Shack. I think it's really old, but it works. All right, I just tried to start the vehicle and battery's kind of dead, so what we're gonna do is jump it with we got number 24 with us today, and see, I got the hood up, we got everything up over there. So let me swing you around. You see I got the jumping cables up already. Let me get these terminals hooked, these jumping cables hooked up. Now I noticed as soon as I connected it, the idle on the van went down to show this battery is dead. The light under the hood brightened up. Now you want to make sure your jumper cables are out of the way so when you start this vehicle. All right, next of all, let me show you something very important. A lot of cars has fuses going between the alternator and the battery, so the fuse will blow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first test out, put our multimeter. We're gonna just to show you something here. If you got one and you're not sure of them, you want to make sure you set it to DC volts. That's on, and make sure that's on auto. So it's not on manual; it's automatically adjusts itself. So we're gonna have one terminal, one in there and one in there. Now, as you notice, I'm letting it charge up a little bit, because once I put this multimeter up there, I have to take these off, because if not, this multimeter is going to be reading voltage from number 24. It's going to show it's good. All right, so we're going to do that. Also, now once we do that, if we see we got no battery volt, no alternator charge there, what we're going to do, the alternator is right over here, and I pulled this back. See, we got this thick wire right here. That thick wire, you can get down there better. Yeah, okay. It's got a post right on top of the alternator. I'm gonna check it from there also if I don't get voltage over here by the battery. Reason being that if the fuse is blown, if there's a fuse on this one, if there's a fuse is blown, then I know I'll get my 13 voltage out of there. All right. So let me give you an example of what's going on. Let me start this up, cut it on. Let me see if I can hook these terminals up. It doesn't matter really what side. It'll just show negative if I got it reversed. So you ain't got to worry about shortening nothing out. And as you can see, at 1311, and that's good. That's good. That's not need the alternate charging, but that's coming from the van. All right. So what we're going to do is start this truck up now, remove the terminals, the jumping cables, and we're going to see what it does. All right. We'll be right back. Okay. Here we are at the vehicle. Start it up. Notice the battery voltage is showing charging, but that's only because, as I said, we got the van hooked up to it. So let's go back around here. It was running 1390. Now let's disconnect our or jumping cables. Connect this back. Whoops, let's see here. Lost the connection, there we go. Now right now it's charging at 13.6, which is good, but wait a minute. Notice how it's dropping down. And it's dropping down fast. 13.3, 13.2, 13.1, 12. 12. Now battery voltage is 12 volts. So once we get down to 12 volts, that's it. You know, yeah, I can tell this alternator is definitely going. 13 ain't bad if it held there, but that 12.8, and understand this is without a load. And by without a load, I mean I got nothing on, no headlights, no nothing. If I cut the headlights on right now, this thing gonna drop down even more. Another thing you want to do is while this is going down, before anything, check your battery terminals. Make sure you don't got no corrosion, because that will limit a good connection, and that alternator will show bad. I'm at 12.3, and my battery terminals nice and clean. That's good. Now we're at 12.1. It's definitely no good. So there you go. That's how you check an alternator. Let's shut this vehicle off, and we'll go over a few things which you need to know about your alternator also. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, let's go over here. Now, number one thing before you want to check your battery, make sure your battery's good. This is looks like a Walmart battery. It's put in 2 years ago. Not even. 15, 16, not even a year and a half. So the battery definitely good. If I had any kind of concern about the battery, which one do? Get you a little battery hydrometer, pop off the caps if yours can do this. If your battery can do that. If not, sometimes it's maintenance free, and you can actually check each cell. That's that's a very good test, and it's cheap and expensive tool for you to get. So now let's go over this now. If your vehicle's doing this, battery voltage is 12 volts. So when the alternator is putting out, alternator is going to make sure that's at least about 13. And the more accessories you put on, that battery voltage is going to go up. All right. So the number one thing is make sure your battery is definitely good. That was pretty much easy diagnosing to how to check your alternator. Luckily it was good. Luckily that came out bad. Other than that, I'd have to go into different things. All right. So let's get this alternator. Now we just got in touch with Fisher, and Fisher's asking, is it a 6 groove or an 8 groove alternator? So what I got to do here is I can probably go down here and okay, I can see down here at the harmonic balancer. Unless we can count the grooves on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got an 8. Alright, so we got an 8 groove alternator. So let's get some, see if they got that in stock, what they should. And then we're going to show you how to remove this and take it apart. Alright, we'll be right back. Okay, let's get this alternator off. We just called Fisher Auto Parts to deliver us an alternator. The first thing you want to do is let's take off this top cover here. We got 3 10mm bolts. 1, 2, and 1 on that side right there. So let's set our camera up. And what I got is a 1/4" drive. You can use 3/8 drive if you want. 10mm socket with a 1/4" drive ratchet. Get those off. Next, what I want you to do is get you a flat screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. And when you get that, join me. Okay, you got your screwdriver. Now first what we're going to do is, we got these two big hoses right here, vacuum hoses. You want to just pull them out of the, okay, just like that. And pull the other one off, lean to the side. Alright, then we got a screw right here. You're going to just loosen that clamp up. And then we're going to go over here. Looks like somebody took the clamp off of this one. What we're going to do is disconnect the air temperature sensor. And then loosen up this clamp right here. Now we should be able to focus out on this. We should be able to remove this. There we go. The whole thing comes right out of the way. Yeah, there we go. We can see our alternator better. All right. So next, we're gonna do is disconnect the negative side of the battery. We'll be right back. All right. Get you a 13mm wrench, socket, or 1/2 inch. We're gonna disconnect the negative terminal. Lean that to the side so we don't burn out nothing. The next thing we're going to do is, now here's the alternator right here. And you can see the upper radiator hose is kind of in the way, but that ain't going to be bothering us right now. What we're going to do here now is, you got a 10mm bolt that's on top of the alternator. Let's take that off. Just going to lean that to the side. Now the plug, there's two plugs on the alternator. I'm not going to worry about those yet because they're like, you got to look clips, you got to pull back to get them off. So what I'm going to do is leave them connected right now and unplug them once I get the alternator out of the way. All right, next is taking off the let's take off the belt, and we'll be back. I'm going to show you a tool that you should have in your toolbox. All right, we'll be right back. All right, first, make sure this is a cheap tool. It's like $50. It's to remove serpentine belts, all different sizes, all different kinds. Now, what you want to do, or you want to get you a 1/2 inch. Hey, look at that. A 1/2 inch drive ratchet. I'm gonna use my 1/2 inch connector right here. Put it on. Then get my extension, because this pulley is way down there. Now up here, way down here, this is your belt tensioner right here. And you gotta put that, trucks, man. You gotta make sure that tool fits right inside there, right inside that hole right there, 1/2 inch drive. Okay? And you're gonna push down on it clockwise. So let's get our tool in there. Okay, and you see that? And what you do is, it takes a little force. Let me get it further up in here. Okay. So now once I go clockwise, I'm gonna take the belt off of this alternator up here. So just flip it down. Take the belt off. Let the belt just hang there. Okay. Release your tension on this, right, and there we go. Take that out. Now for the alternator bolts, we got a 10mm right here and a 10mm right here. We got other bolts, but let's get those two out first. All right, so let's get our 10mm, and take those out. We'll be right back. All right, what you're gonna do is get you a deep 3/8 drive 10mm socket with your long ratchet, and I'm gonna get my stubby one just so when I loosen this up I can use my stubby ratchet to quickly remove those bolts. So let's go in here. We got one bolt right here. Oops. You know, and actually I loosened that bolt up, but I saw it felt kind of like okay, had a little play in it. Okay, let's loosen this other one up. Okay, that's tight. Now, actually, instead of hook up my stubby ratchet, see, that way this gives me a little more swing on these bolts to loosen them up. Okay, there's one bolt, pretty long bolts. Let's get our second one. And actually they get so loose that I can take the ratchet off and put the socket on it like that and just do it by hand. Okay, we got them out. Now what I want you to do is get yourself a 4-inch 3/8 drive extension, and I'm going to show you the other bolts we got to take out. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, next one we got a little bracket down here with 3 10mm bolts. This one you can get to if you use a universal socket, and then it'll come out and take it out. But what I'm going to do is make it easier for everything. You see this plate right here? This whole bracket holds in the accelerator cable and the cable for the cruise control. What I'm going to do is take this spring off from right here, put that to the side, and I am going to take this bracket up. Now to disconnect this, hold the throttle in place, and this bracket right here, that's all you have to do is push forward. Comes right out. The second one, open the throttle all the way, take the cable, pick it up, and inside there's a little slot right there. Take that out of the slot. Done. Now let's get our 2 bolts. Now, what we can do is just take the whole cable and the bracket, swing it right out of the way. And just so we don't misplace these bolts, I'll just put these back in there by hand. Now, I'm going to get my 3 10mm bolts down here on this little bracket. And actually, you saw the alternator start coming out already. And I can probably just take out the one. Let me see if I just take out just that one, will it swing out enough? Take it out of there. Okay. And it actually did. I'm going to put that bolt back in there just in case. Just so I know where it goes. And then we're going to get us a screwdriver to unhook the connectors. Alright, let's get you a flat screwdriver and join me when you get it. We'll be right back. Alright, I got my screwdriver set to the side. Now what I'm going to do is pull this alternator, pull this hose to the side, pick the alternator up, You're going to turn it to the side so you can see the clips better. What I'm going to do is take my screwdriver on this, the little one. Just want to pry it just a little bit, try to get it to the edge. Pop it right out. The connector for the big one is on the other side. So what you want to do is just get that screwdriver in there, pop it right out, just like that. Take a notice of the connector, make sure it's not burnt or anything, because that will cause the alternator to go bad. Everything look good. Things look like it's kind of junky looking. All right, there you have it. Now we're just going to sit back and wait for Fisher to drop off the new alternator. Again, there's two different kind of alternators, 6 groove and 8 groove. So what you do is any of your pulleys, you just want to count the grooves in them, starting from down here. Like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 groove pulley. All right, we'll be right back. You met Deb before, huh? Oh, you on? Oh, all right, here we go. We got the old alternator. We got Deb from Fisher Auto Parts. Now this is what I mean, like if you go to AutoZone or something, you're gonna get some value crap or some Duralast alternator. You know, I really don't like them. Here we got a Remy. Now you wanna take the alternator out, you wanna match it up, make sure everything looks the same. The plugs, everything good. And we're gonna get ready to install that. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we recording? You gonna be in the video? Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, here we go. Just dropped off the alternator. We're gonna put this alternator in. First thing we're gonna do, come up on this truck again. Man, I ain't trying to beat it. Okay. We got our plug right here. Now I'm not worried about the plug now because as long as I got them out, let's get this alternator down in there. Oh, that's not good. we sent that alternator back, and none of y'all reminded me that the bolt was on the back of the alternator. All right, we're back. I always keep extra bolts inside the van or whatever vehicle we have. So I'm not worried about that. Let's get this alternator down in here. Make sure everything, all the wires and everything out of the way. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is let's just start our new bolt right here. These nuts out here is ridiculous. Okay, let's start that with a couple threads just to get us lined up. Okay, next we're gonna do, before we tighten up them 3, let's get our 2 bolts, long bolts in the bottom of the alternator. Let's get them started. Actually, I'm gonna, since it's quick with using my hands on this, I'm gonna just bring them in as much as I can. Okay, now before we do anything, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten up this one bolt up here on the top. Mosquitoes in. Alright, next what I'm gonna do is tighten up the 2 at the bottom. Remember, I'm still got those loose right there. So where's our ratchet? Using my stubby first. Okay. Now for some added torque, we'll use our longer ratchet, 3/8 drive. Dang, did I get him? Dang. Okay. Now these bolts are not super tight because you will break them. What I do as soon as it stops, I just go a little bit more, and that's it. All right, next, let's get our extension. And tighten up these 2 bolts in the back now. Okay, that's done. Next, we got our harness over here, our alternator harness. Let's go over here, we plug up the big one first. We'll make sure this thing is going right. Okay, now let's plug up our little one. Make sure it lines up perfectly. Make sure them plugs are down there good enough. Definitely don't want them coming off. All right, now let's take our little 10mm bolt off of here. Our nut rather. Let's put our battery lead on. All right, let's tighten that up. Now this one, as soon as it stops, like right there with just a couple fingers, just turn a little bit more, and that's it, because you will break that. Then we pull our boot over, protective boot. You definitely want to do that just in case something don't hit that. All right, now if I can get comfortable here, you know. Whoops. Dang it. All right, let's bring our accelerate cable and everything across from over here. Our 2 10mm bolts. So let's take them out. Put them back in there. All right, let's tighten those up. All right, let's get our cables on. Let's get the first one. Open the throttle up all the way. There's a little slot right there. See the slot up here? All right, let's get a slide it up. Flip it over, and that's it. This one, see there's a little slot right there which goes on that little connector. Just bring it back, put it on, and just snap it back into place. You'll hear it. There it is. That's done. Now for our spring. Our spring goes right here on that little hole, and on this bracket there's a little hole right there. Done. All right, let's get our 1/2" drive ratchet, and I'm gonna get my belt tool, and then we're gonna put this belt back on. All right, we'll be right back. All right, first thing I want to do is make sure my belt is on all the other pulleys. Power steering. Okay. And I just want to hold a little tension on it right there. Get my little light. Okay. It's on the harmonic balancer up there. It's on the AC compressor, power steering, everything is good. So let's Put our tool down there. Okay, and again, clockwise. Get that belt on that alternator. Okay. Nope, not on all the way. One more groove. There we go. Okay. Take our tool out. And that's it. That's good. Alright. We'll be right back to put the air cleaner back on. Okay. We're gonna make sure you have your connector over here for your air temperature sensor. Put that to the side. And let's get our thing up here first. Let's hook it up onto the air cleaner first. Okay. Then, while we got it over here, let's connect temperature sensor. Now, put it onto the throttle body. Now, there's a little line, a little indentation in the air cleaner, this tube, and a little something that's sticking out on the throttle body. You want to make sure they're lined up. Then before we tighten it up, let's put our hoses in there. Alright, get our screwdriver, flat screwdriver, tighten up these clamps. This one over here. Get our 13mm socket. Hook it back up. Negative side of the battery. Make sure this is tight. Now I gotta put the cover on the engine, but I ain't worried about that now. Okay, what we're gonna do, see, hopefully it's got enough charge in here to start this up, and then we're gonna do that test on the alternator again. All right, let me start it up. All right, turn on our multimeter. Now you see right now it's charging at 14.6 volts. That's because this alternator is sensing that the battery was kind of dead. So it's kind of charging at a high rate right now. And it's going to, as it runs, it's going to start dropping down until it hits about 13 and a half volts. So we're going to sit there and watch that for a second or two. Well, while you're watching that, go over here and put this cover on. Notice the last time we did this, thing was charging at, it was 13 even though the battery was dead. And it dropped down to 12.1. We're dropping down, but it's holding its charge. All right, so we're looking pretty good. I'm very confident this job is done. All right, we'll be right back. All right, I just finished tightening up the cover. And 1408, 1410. As I said, it's going to drop down to about 13 and a half volts, and we're going to level off right about there. Any questions, feel free to comment. Email us, support@astralautorepairs.com, or tim@astralautorepairs.com. This is Timmy from Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. Take it easy.